We do.
All right, Jorida, you're up. Good morning.
Good
Let me
morning.
know
You're all
when we're
set
all
and
set.
you are all set and ready to go, sir.
All right, great. Thank you. And welcome everybody to today's public safety meeting. Today is February 3rd, 2026. Hard to believe. It is just a little after 8:02, and we are going to do just a real quick introduction of a few people because we have a lot on today, which is great. Glad to see everybody this morning. We have committee members, Counselor Tiffany McGinnis and Counselor Gail Harris. I saw Gail. In addition, we have Mayor Cantor, uh, Deputy Mayor Deb Pullen. We have Counselor Ben Winograd. I saw Counselor Jason Wang and Counselor John Lyons. There's Counselor Lisa Lazarus. I think I got all of the counselors, and we have Chief Riddick, Police Chief Riddick, and Fire Chief Greg Priest. I'm not going to go through everybody. We have Mr. Robert Grimaldi. Hello, sir. And AC Riccabon is here with us today. And I think what I'll do is just go ahead and jump in. I'm probably missing a few people. Mr. Tara, there he is with us today. So we will go ahead and get started. First order of business, I believe, is approval of our minutes. And I will put out there, do we have a motion to approve the minutes of January 6, 2026?
So moved.
And do we have a second?
Second.
Great. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, great. So we have approval of the minutes. And the next item on our agenda is communications. Mr. Ledwith, our town manager, the one person I didn't introduce, our town manager, Rick Ledwith. Hello, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, everyone. Nothing under communications this morning. We can jump right into the part of the agenda.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So with that, we will go ahead with staff reports. And first on the list, we have Mr. Chief Priest with our fire department update. Take it away, Chief Priest.
Well, good morning, everybody. Mr. Chief Priest here, broadcasting live from the West Hartford Fire Department. Appreciate it, and joined by all my colleagues here. I have submitted a written report as usual. I just want to make a quick note about some of our data. We are in the process of working with our current software vendor to transition to a new national reporting platform. So you'll see that we're trying to resolve that. We have not produced some of our trend line data, and we will do our best to make sure that
Lose him?
We lost
Did we
you,
lose him?
Chief. Yeah,
Did we lose Chief Priest?
we did.
All right. We'll give him a second and then
Back.
we'll skip
They're back.
over.
Am I
You're
back?
back.
Yeah, you're back.
You're back.
I've got a whole team here who's all saying like, yeah, that just shut down for no reason. But anyways, all right, well, we're back anyways. You didn't miss very much, thank goodness. Anyways, we'll have better data up next week for you. We're working with our CAD vendor for that. I wanted to say thank you very much to our folks who joined us at the promotional ceremony for some of our members last month. Thank you very much. We have now officially hired Joe Tarasik. He is a new firefighter paramedic joining us. He'll be going to the academy next week. The notable activity for the fire department this week has certainly been the cold and the depth of the snow, causing us to have increased staffing. Luckily that we didn't have too many major serious incidents related to that, but obviously after snowstorms, we deal with a lot of snow on hydrants. There's been a lot of resident communication with us. So my position on this is Safety is a partnership with our community. We are certainly out there and doing our best to help out to make sure that snow is cleared from hydrants. However, there are about 1,500 hydrants in the town of West Hartford, so that is why we need the community's help with that. You'll notice that I didn't lead with ordinances or anything like punitive because I really want to keep this focused on doing what's right for your neighbor, doing what's right for the department, and doing it in partnership. That being said, I would like to make sure I'll be talking to the town manager and probably the public safety committee just to make sure that our ordinances are appropriate in those areas to make sure that we mirror our neighbors around the state. But we'll be evaluating that. Luckily, we don't have a lot of deep snow on a regular basis, so it doesn't always become a forefront issue, but that is on my platform. As I close out my comments on that, I just wanted to appreciate and respect for our staff who are out there doing that. One day the deputy was like, "Hey, chief, we just came back. We just finished doing 200 hydrants and we're still trying to manage the call volume to the day." So appreciate that, and pleased also that we've had a bunch of media inquiries reaching out to us about our particular preparedness for it. It's always nice to see our folks talking about that. We scheduled our kickoff meeting for the training tower. That's proceeding nicely. We've hired an owner's representative, so we've set a pretty aggressive timeline to do what we can with our budgeted funds to get the site ready over the spring, so we're ready for future builds. We are very pleased also to have supported Senator Blumenthal to discuss the idea of skyrocketing apparatus costs and supply chain issues, so we were glad to bring that type of attention into our community, actually on the same day that we were onboarding our brand new aerial truck that was purchased through town funding. So thanks to our council, our previous council that approved that like 3 years ago. So it took us a while to get it. I am also very happy to tell you that our fire station renovations are well underway. We've had a little bit of challenge with some roof leaks and some ice dams, but I think there are many folks are experiencing that during these cold challenges. I'm glad today, I'm not sure if I've ever introduced her before, but Kristen Kelly is our medical resiliency coordinator, works in the Office of Emergency Management. She's joining us today. And one of the things that is going on in that particular area of our organization, we have discussed a nurse navigator program, which shifts off non-emergency calls into a nurse program. Unfortunately, we ran into an issue that we were not able to resolve between two national vendors. So we've pulled back from that program and we're refocusing Kristen on looking at our non-emergency lower level acuity medical calls to make sure that we're handling them correctly under the premise that we want to provide a better service to our residents by making sure that we're available for the serious emergencies. And we don't want the very low level acuity incidents to kind of interfere or take away the service from other residents. So that's happening in there. You recognized Chief Grimaldi a minute ago. He's in our fire marshal's office. I am briefed on a regular basis about the level of activity that occurs in his area based on construction and permitting and licensing, and just sending my level of appreciation over there, as well as kind of prepping you for budget season to be discussing what the resources that office needs as well, both for fire prevention, but also for the larger term of what we call community risk reduction, which is how we improve the safety of our community through design, permitting, and inspections. So that is all I have, but to discuss quickly, just looking forward to, I know we sent out an invite to our new counselors who we haven't met in person. Chief Riddick and I are looking forward to inviting you just for a little meet and greet to chat with you. That'll be happening later this month. And then we're coming into our budget season here locally, as well as a legislative session for the state. And we try to stay highly engaged with that as well to ensure that we're helping to advance the fire service, both here in West Hartford and at the state. So with that concludes my report. I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Awesome. Great. Thank you, Chief Priest. And I know the importance of the fire hydrant, the snow removal. In fact, I think we have a few people here, at the very least, Counselor McGinnis out there shoveling out one by her house. And that's really, if you get one out in front of your house or a couple houses down, I know we get tired of shoveling our own snow, much less other snow, but it really is important. And it's a good reminder to get out there and help each other out. I will open up the questions, and I see a hand up with Counselor McGinnis.
I was, through you, I was just going to say that I, after I dug it out, when it wasn't in my yard, I would have dug it out immediately had it been in my yard. It's way down the street. But I did post a video and some people commented and said, "Oh, I didn't know I was supposed to do that." And then one woman was going to get a group of people together over the weekend to try to dig out some around her house. So hopefully, maybe a few more people will start doing it. It's going to be much harder now that everything's refreezing at night and have a layer of ice over it, but hopefully that will get done.
True, true. And I know Counselor Counselor Lazarus, I'm not sure if they were out shoveling, but they certainly were trying to get the message out as well. I think a lot of us have been trying to get the message out. I will continue with questions for Chief Priest and Counselor Harris.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Chair. I had a question about on your report, the CERT, CERT. I believe that stands, I'm not sure, but I think it stands for Community Emergency Response Team. I was just wondering, are the how like who is in that and how many people in our community train for that, and what exactly do they do? I can see a little bit of what you wrote there, but I'm just wondering if you could expand a little bit on that. Thank you.
Through you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Counselor. I'm very, very honored to be able to turn that question over to somebody that I highly respect. Deputy Emergency Manager Bob McHugh is sitting directly behind me. It's an area that he's worked really, really hard on, and I would love to give him the opportunity to answer that question for you. So, Bob.
Thank you. You're correct. It stands for the Community Emergency Response Team, which is a nationwide program that trains residents to support the community during emergencies and also to get them better prepared in their own situations for natural disasters or other emergencies that come up. We started the program locally around 2020. We've trained over 350 residents in the program right now. Each year, we ask members of the team to re-up to make sure that they're still interested in the team. We currently have about 180 back signed up onto the team. As far as activities, during the last government shutdown or previous government shutdown, they assisted the food pantry. They've assisted the health department at vaccination clinics. They've distributed PPE. On Thanksgiving, they deliver meals to folks that are shut in. So they're kind of like a Swiss Army knife of volunteers. They're a group of folks that can just get called up immediately to assist. They're also vital for us for the host community reception center. If we have to open up a shelter at Conard High School, they'll help staff it with the American Red Cross. And we have a training class coming up in April if anybody's interested in joining.
And that will do. That is awesome. Thank you very much. Counselor, any follow-up to that?
No, that's awesome. I didn't realize we had that many people involved in that kind of program. That's great. Thank you. Appreciate the information.
Great, thank you. Yeah, it's a wonderful program that that I think other towns are trying to emulate because we are that successful with it. So once again, I don't know that my hand raising is working. So if you would let me know if you have any questions, any of the other counselors. Hearing none, seeing none, I think we are set. Thank you, Chief Priest, and to your entire team. We owe you a lot of gratitude, and stay warm this weekend. I know it's going to be a chilly one. And you mentioned the ice dams. Yes, everywhere. um, Bringing down gutters everywhere. So I think we are probably ready to move on to Chief Riddick. Take it away, sir.
Good morning, everyone. And they say misery loves company. So I'm glad that the tech gremlin visited the FD as he visited me this morning, which impeded my ability to come on a little bit. So we're good with that. Uh, Submit a written report already. And so the information is there. I'm actually just going to skim through a couple highlights because we have a lot of pressing national issues that are going on. I want to allocate time for that. So on January 3rd, with the assistance of the FD, a great collaboration from both divisions, departments, we had an individual who on Oakwood Avenue who had actually climbed up on a fence and was threatening to jump. And through the work of the FD and our CIT and our first responding officers, we're able to get that individual down for assistance and help and prevent a tragedy. So kudos to both um, units and teams. And also on January 6th, we had a domestic issue. I will not give the address, but it was a domestic issue in town. An ex came into the home and threatened his ex-wife. He was arrested and charged with burglary second, larceny fifth, and interfering with a police officer, breach of peace in the second degree. He was arrested, bonded out. Then a couple weeks later, on January 16th, he was arrested again for similar conduct, and he was additionally charged with violating a protective order, criminal attempt at burglary, interfering with an officer, and he was given a $100,000 bond. So good work by our people. As we know, a very important issue nationwide regarding domestic violence issues. On January 8th, we had a motor vehicle stop, which led to a foot pursuit. A great job by our canine officer, one of our canine officers and their canine that was utilized and deployed, was able to track the individual down. Francesca Vargas was arrested and charged with evading responsibility, assault on a police officer, operating under suspension, driving without insurance, DUI, failure to obey traffic control signals, unregistered motor vehicle, and failure to display plates. On January 9th, we had a report of a suspicious party wearing dark clothing attempting to break into vehicles. Our officers were able to respond to the perimeter and doing some good police work. We were able to arrest Mr. Anthony Fisher, and he was charged with interfering with a police officer in possession of burglary tools, and he was given a $7,500 bond. Additionally, good work by our Detective Bureau. We had on January 30th a very disturbing crime. We had a cyber tip that came in. We have an officer who is a member of the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force. We worked that case, able to submit a couple search warrants, and then we finally able to secure an arrest warrant that was approved by the court on January 28th of this year for the following charges of possession of a child's sexual abuse material in the third degree, promoting a minor in an obscene performance of sexual activity, importing child sexual abuse material. The individual was arrested on January 30th, and a court set bond for $600,000. So excellent work, busy, 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 but kudos to our patrol officers and our detectives and some of the task force that we are involved with. Before I move forward, any questions on those incidents, and then I'll move on. Mr. Chair.
I have a, no.
I'm sorry.
Counselor Harris has
Who
a
was
question.
that? Was that Counselor Harris?
Yes, me, sorry.
Sorry, that's okay. Go ahead, Counselor Harris.
Okay, thank you, through you, Mr. Chair. Um, Chief, I'm wondering if you could just explain to me when somebody gets a $600,000 bond, which sounds like a lot of money and a big bond. From what I was reading, they can post a very, very small amount of that and then be sort of um, bonded out. Um, can you elaborate, like, what would happen with somebody that has a $600,000 bond from the court? Would that person be able to? Because I'm reading that sometimes a person can post like a 0.5% of that and then walk out, but I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact percentages, but it's not like you have to put up the entire $600,000. Normally, you get a bondsman or a bondswoman. You put down 10%. Oftentimes, people can put up their house as collateral, or another family member could put up that, and the bond person issues if you want an insurance bond, if you will, that person will show up for court, and if they don't, that bonds person would be on the hook for the remainder of that money. So that individual could have put up $6,000 of cash, which he or she would not get in return, and then the bond person would put up the rest.
Okay, so they can put up a very small amount and then sort of be bonded out, like $6,000 on a $600,000 bond.
I don't want to say a small amount because the bond is just a bond, and if they have 7% cash, they can do that also. But that system has been in place for some time. They're still on the hook for the entire bond. For example, if that person does not show up for court, then that bondsman has to pay that money. He gets
Right.
a certain amount of time to go find them, but if not, they're on the hook for the remainder of that money.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right.
Uh, to be clear, Chief Riddick, that is something that's covered by state statute, right? It's not. It's
Yes,
a
it's not a local thing. That's correct. Yep. Yes.
correct. I
That's
just
it.
wanted to confirm that so that
Yes.
thank you.
Mhm.
Um, so next question, do we have another question for Chief Riddick? Don't hear anybody saying anything.
Okay, so
So,
next on my report, I have current events that we added here, and obviously there's a lot going on nationally with ICE, and people have questions and concerns, which we 100% understand. I'd just like to take this opportunity, if we can go back in time just a few years. This really isn't new to us. Remember, we had the protests in 2020. We had George Floyd. When I say we, the town of West Hartford was forward leaning. We did a really good job handling things. We had discussions. We answered questions. Our officers acted in a very professional manner. We had several protests. I think one of the largest was about 2,500 to 3,000 people in town center. We only had one report of any type of incident, a minor incident. So we're well positioned for this. We're well educated on what the do's and the don'ts are. I think the template that we used then should be the same model as we use now going forward. We're ready for this, and I would caution folks for how do I say this without getting in trouble? Um, we don't have to follow national things. We do things the right way here. And the really thing that I was really impressed with and happy with is that our legislative officials here in town, to the town council, the mayor, they listened to the professionals who do this. We had a lot of discussions behind the scenes on how to handle things. And my ask is, as we continue to go forward, that you trust the people that you've hired to do these jobs. You listen to their opinions, and I promise you, we will do the right thing and we will get through this. I don't want us to get sucked into a political vortex that we have no reason being in my humble opinion. And I think how we handle things in the past is how we should handle it in the future. There's nuances, I get that. So that being said, I'll get into very, very briefly an overview of the Trust Act, which is embedded in our policy. here in West Hartford. And just as a reminder, the Trust Act is nothing new. This has been around since I think 2019, 2018, something like that. And it was in place during 2020 when we had the protests before. So as we go forward, there's a couple of situations or several situations in which the police department is allowed by law to contact ICE. I'm just going to run through our policy very, very quickly. And one, if there's a civil immigration detainer that is accompanied by an arrest warrant signed by a judicial officer. I think that's very, very important. So it's not just a detainer by itself. It has to be coupled with an arrest warrant signed by a judicial official. Number two, the individual has been convicted of a Class A or B felony. And three, this list has been expanded through the legislature, the state legislature, this past October. If the individual has been convicted of several crimes, I'm just going to mention a couple, but there is a long list here. Risk of injury to a minor, manslaughter, strangulation, sexual assault in the second degree, just to give you a couple of examples of situations in which we would notify ICE if we had somebody in our custody. And then four, if that individual is a possible match and identified in a federal terrorist screening or a database or similar type of information. So those are the situations where by statute in which we would contact ICE. Conversely, there are also situations in which if we have someone in custody and for some other reason, ICE reaches out to us. So these are requests from ICE to the police department regarding the individual that we have in custody. You're going to hear some familiar qualifications and criteria here. One, that individual has been convicted of a Class A or B felony. Or two, there's a list of charges here, all of the same charges that we had talked about 2 seconds ago. I'm not going to list all of those. Has an outstanding warrant in this state is another example. Has been identified as a known gang member in the database of an NCIC or similar database, or is designated as a security risk group member or a threat by the Department of Corrections. And there's several other examples and situations here in which if ICE reached out to us under the statute, we would be obligated, if we have the individual, to comply and be within statute. As we continue to watch and see what's going on in Minnesota and in other major cities, the other question I'm anticipating to be asked, so I hit it head on. Hey, if ICE is in town, there's a major protest, we're called, will we assist ICE? So I think that question is framed incorrectly. Our duty and our obligation in the town of West Hartford is to respond to disturbances. So it's not us assisting ICE. It's us responding to a disturbance, doing what we can to quell that disturbance, and that's our role and obligation. And I think that that view that, law enforcement is assisting ICE, it's just not accurate. And I think what's going on in Minneapolis and the way their police department is handling things and has handled things is an excellent template for other PDs nationwide. So that being said, I hope I hit a lot of these things head on. I am here to answer any additional questions or concerns, but I do think it's important to understand that your PD, your elected officials, your town manager, your mayor, this ain't new to us. We've been down this road before. We're very, very experienced with this. Trust us, we will do the right thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Riddick. And Mr. Ledwith?
Yeah,
we'll
thank you,
start with
Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to add on a couple of, I appreciate the chief kind of providing that summary and really helping to ground our discussion in facts and clarity. So as we all know, West Hartford is a welcoming and inclusive community. And our priority, number one priority, is the safety and dignity and well-being of anyone who lives here, anyone who works here, and anyone who visits here. And our police department, among many other staff members, are here to serve and to serve and protect and keep our community safe. And that's period. So, and we've met a few times, and as the chief said, we're ready should something happen here. But should it happen, our responsibility will be to communicate clearly, avoid misinformation, and ensure residents know where to turn for support. So alongside our police department, certainly we have our social services team that stands ready to provide additional assistance and resources to anyone who may feel impacted and obviously concerned about what may be happening as well. So we've had a few situations of misinformation over the last few months where there have been erroneous reports about ICE being in town. That hasn't been the case yet. We had one most recently this past Sunday night, which was not accurate information at all. But when it does, we will know. We would ask people to call our police department immediately, so that we can get that line of communication going among police, our chief, myself, my office, the mayor, and the town council. So, and above all, trust, as we've talked about as well, trust is the foundation for public safety. So we want all of our residents to feel safe calling our police department, accessing services, and engaging all of us. So, and that does make our town stronger, and we know that. So, and that will remain how our commitment to continue to guide and lead and communicate and support our entire town as we move forward through these very, very uncertain times, happening nationally, certainly, but we stand ready to address and serve and support as well here at the town. So thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you, turn it back to you, and certainly welcome to continue this dialogue with our entire council.
Thank you, Town Manager Ledwith. And before I turn it over, and I'm going to start first with a question. One thing, Chief Riddick, that I know that perhaps you can speak to, I don't know. But one thing I know that I hear all the time from others, that they get the question of, what can I legally do? And what, when confronted with a situation in front of me, what can I legally do that won't get me put in jail or hurt? And so I wanted to throw that out at you, and if it's something that you can answer, I think I and many would appreciate it. We hear things, here and there. We see lists. Some of them look trustworthy and reputable, and others you just not sure. So Chief, is that something that you can help us with?
Sure, Mr. Chair. I'd have a request of you. That's a broad question, and I want to make sure my response is in line to what you're actually trying to ask me. So what specifically are you looking when you say, what can we do? In what scenario, what situation, what circumstances, what specifically are you asking?
Fair. And I should have been more specific. I apologize. So say we have a situation where federal agents, ICE or Border Patrol, are in West Hartford. They are active doing something, and we have protesters who have descended upon this situation. We're told that they have a right to video. We've been told different things. And I want to clarify that in the midst and in the heat of an ongoing situation, number one, what are we legally able to do as, say, protesters or private citizens just observing? And also, what the other thing just escaped me. What
I'm tracking.
yeah. I mean, I guess how do we protect ourselves and yet be, you know, be cognizant of what's going on and recording and trying to help others.
Thank you. I lost you for a second. My screen froze. So, but I think I understand the gist of your question. So first, I'll say I'll keep it at the local level because I can't speak for the feds. I can tell you your First Amendment rights are your First Amendment rights. You have the ability to protest. You do not have the ability to interfere. So if there's an arrest that's going on, whether we like the arrest or not, whether you like the arrest or not, you do not have the authority to interfere with those agents as they are conducting an arrest, just as at the local level, if our police officers are conducting and affecting an arrest, the public does not have a right to interfere, and you can be arrested for that. It's clearly established. If you're in a safe zone, you are allowed. Again, I'm speaking local. I'm not speaking about federal rights. I'm talking about the local authority. You have the right to video. You do, but if someone tells you to step back, if someone's affecting an arrest or they're conducting their duties in a law enforcement capacity, that you can't be in their face, videotape it. You have to give space. I can't give you what that space is, but a certain amount of distance that you're not interfering with the duties and responsibilities of that law enforcement official or agency.
Thank you. Thank you for that explanation. I'm going to go ahead and start turning it over to others, and I'll start with Councilor Harris.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Chief Riddick. That's really helpful information. I had a couple of questions. My first one is, if ICE does come to town, are they going to inform the police department? Are you aware that they're in town or not really?
So, open, honest, and transparent. Our relations here in the state of Connecticut with ICE haven't been the best when it comes to notifications. So to answer your question specifically, I don't know. Sometimes we have not been notified. Fortunately, nothing has occurred here. I have spoken to other chiefs in which ICE has responded to their jurisdiction and they did not know. And that's a problem on two fronts. I'll give you one example. One, whether it's ICE or any other federal agency, you have what's called deconfliction. It's very important to deconflict because you could have the same target and you want to avoid what's called blue on blue or law enforcement against law enforcement at a particular situation at a specific location or particular target. And if you don't communicate, that could turn into a violent situation because sometimes you would have undercover officers who could be operating. And if you don't communicate that information, it could be a very serious problem. Scenario number two, and this has been happening most frequently, and you've heard this most of the time on the news, is an individual ICE comes into town, no one knows, an individual is taken into custody. The police department's not notified, the family's not notified. The family contacts the police department, my loved one, they didn't come home, we don't know where they're at. We're hearing rumors that ICE may have grabbed them or arrested them. Can you assist? Unfortunately, we have several examples of where even if law enforcement has contacted ICE, they would not give information and have not given information, whether it's to law enforcement or to the families. Now, that being said, as a result of these instances, last summer in July at the U.S. Attorney's Office, U.S. Attorney Dave Sullivan convened a meeting with all the chiefs were invited. All obviously could not respond, and regional ICE officials. So I'll give them credit. It was Boston, New York, a whole bunch of officials from ICE, and we were all in the room. At the end of the day, we came to agreements that in principle, right? Verbally, hopefully it's better than what was currently occurring, but not where we would like it to be. So we agreed to disagree on some issues. But there was a dialogue, which is important, and we heard from them, they heard from us, and hopefully going forward, it will get better.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, if I could just ask one more follow-up. Um, I had a question sort of tail on what Counselor Walters had asked about protests. If there is a protest in town, let's say ICE comes and there is a protest, and if the protest were to become unruly, like we're seeing somewhat in Minneapolis, who is responsible to control not the ICE operation, but the actual protest? Is that ICE or is that West Hartford PD?
It would be us. It would be West Hartford. Again, that would fall under a disturbance. We would respond. Now, the caveat would that be if there was a federal building, and then that would be ICE's jurisdiction to cover that federal building, and they would deploy there. But crowd control and the like, that would fall under our responsibility. As most of you know, we have a blue plan where we can call for additional resources. There's different rings or levels to that, depending upon the size of the protest and the need that we would have, where we'd call for additional resources from our adjacent towns as well as CSP, excuse me, state police. So again, we're positioned, we're ready, but that would fall under us for a normal protest.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilor Harris. And we will open it up to other questions. And please, again, if you have a question, say so. Mayor Cantor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is more informational. And some of the questions that I've received or people have approached me with is a protected status has changed. And so there's some concern in whether someone is here legally or not. And fear about what that means, right? So, I mean, is being here illegally the crime enough for ICE to take somebody? And so that is a question a lot of people have, and have raised to me. And so I don't know that answer. I think that's maybe a question for immigration lawyers, but so one of the things that there's a lot of fear for a lot of people in the community, especially people of color, and so we have had some information. I want to thank Assistant Chief Tara for coming to a couple of meetings and giving people updates on the Trust Act and how the police follow that Trust Act and how it's changed a little bit. And I'll be very candid. One question that actually was a little chilling to me was, would a protester be considered a terrorist at some point? Would somebody that believes or has been a protester, maybe at other protests or whatever, and then becomes labeled a terrorist, how would that fall? That question was raised. I think Chief Tara was there when that question was raised at a meeting that he was at. But we are trying to get information out on what people legally and should not legally do, similar to what the chief was saying, that you have to give space. And the guideline that I have heard is 8 to 10 feet. There are, I guess, some states that have statutes of minimum distance between law enforcement and protesters and observers. And so that was something that there were a number of guidelines that we think the public would be helpful for the public to know, and I think the public is asking. So I've been working with Adrian to put out some, maybe in multi-language, some guidelines for, protest observers, and maybe numbers to call if you have concerns. Do you call the police routine number? Do you call 911? What do you do? And so we're going to be asking for some input. I think Adrian reached out to you, Chief, or to Chief Tara to get some information. But it's something that we're working on because, again, there are a lot of questions coming to me, I think to some of my colleagues. And if there is activity in towns around us, and I think those questions will get a little louder. So anyway, so we're working on something. I don't think having in-person meetings is as helpful because I don't think it gets to the information to the people that necessarily need it. But that's so I just am letting you know. And any comments, I'm happy to.
Thank you, Mayor Cantor. Actually,
Thank you.
yeah, go ahead, Chief Riddick.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you for your leadership and your continued support. Um, I'll attack this from a law enforcement perspective. I deliberately, and I'm also familiar with those guidelines you talked about, Mayor, that have been put out and everything else. I deliberately did not use that intentionally because each situation is different. It could be 8 to 10 for one situation, but it could be across the street for the other one. And that across the street could be legal and valid based upon the event that is occurring. So it's it's nuanced at times regarding that, but information is important. I agree with what the mayor is saying, getting information that's out there, but we just have to be careful what we put out. That's all. But people want to know. People are concerned. They have a right to be.
Thank you, Chief Riddick, and thank you, Mayor Cantor. Having Chief Tara with us, would it be appropriate to have very high level Trust Act explanation? Very high level, because I know it can go deep in the weeds.
Well, I can handle it. Chief Tara's here, but I'm the police chief. I'm not sure this is the venue for that, but if you have any specific questions, I'm properly positioned. I have Assistant Chief Rickabon here. I can handle it.
Okay, great. Well, I just, if it's not the proper venue, we can discuss it elsewhere. Thank you, Chief Riddick. Are there any other questions? Please speak up.
May I ask a question?
Hang on. Are we still on committee members? Or do we pass?
Yeah, if you have a question, go ahead, Councilor McGinnis.
Well, I don't have a question. I just wanted to say thank you. I know that, these are difficult times and difficult situations that you guys are in, especially if the communication isn't good. So I just want to thank you guys for being helpful and letting people know what your job is as opposed to what ICE is doing. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilor McGinnis. Councilor Wang.
Thank you, through you, Chairman Walters, to Chief Riddick. Thank you so much for all that information. Really appreciated that. It was, I think it helps really bring down the temperature, brings clarity to the situation, kind of just really helpful. I have one question, which is and you can tell me that this is better for executive session or whatnot, but for counselors, for elected officials, what would you like to see from us? What would be the most helpful, and what would you rather that we refrain from in terms of making sure that if protests do occur, if ICE comes here, that things remain peaceful and orderly?
Thank you, through you, Mr. Chair. What we're doing right now, I would just ask, come to us first. Don't assume. Don't get, if you remember what I said earlier, let's not get sucked into the political vortex because there's a whole other political side of this. And unfortunately, when that occurs, the safety and security of our residents and our non-documented people can be put into jeopardy. So if we respond in articulate, constructive, intelligent, and professional manners, if you trust the people you've hired to do the jobs, and come to us and ask for some recommendations and some guidance, I think we'll be properly positioned to give the proper information. And of course, our primary objective is to keep our residents secure. So I think that's the best response I could provide for you.
Thank you. That's really, really helpful.
Thank you, Chief Riddick. That was very helpful. And I think, as you said, I think it's just keeping everybody safe and keeping everybody who in West Hartford, I mean, hopefully with a little bit of dignity as well. And yes, go ahead, Chief Riddick.
One more quick thing, and thank you, Counselor Wang. Just triggered my memory. Please do not believe the first information that you hear. Please do not believe information on social media or these other things that are occurring, and then repost it or stir things up unintentionally. So when I say trust and reach out to us, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Either through the mayor, the town manager, or myself, give us an opportunity first to vet these things out, and then we can parse fact from fiction. And Mr. Manager, in his position now, he knows this. Even for some of our local things, rarely is that first report that we get accurate. I have to call him back later and say, hey, all right, the first thing we had here, but here's more information. And that's on a much lower level stuff. It just happens. So, everything we hear out there is not true. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Chief Riddick, and amen. I know I know personally I've tried to get into a habit of asking questions of town staff first before I go out and start repeating something. It's very important. I appreciate that. I appreciate that your memory was jogged there. um, do we have any more questions or comments from our folks here today? I'm not hearing or seeing anybody speaking up here or raising a hand. So thank you, Chief Riddick. All valuable information. And, I'm sure we'll probably have to revisit this again in some form. I hope not, but we'll see. And we do appreciate your knowledge and your entire team's efforts in keeping us safe uh, at so many different levels. So thank you. And with that, I think we'll go ahead and move on as long as nobody has anything else. The next thing on the list, the agenda, is future agenda items. Manager Ledwith.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We'll follow your lead there. If there's any recommended items you'd like to see in the next month or two, please just reach out and let us know. Thank you.
Thank you. And so I will refer to our members, Councilor McGinnis and Councilor Harris. Do you have anything you would like to? Okay. And Councilor Harris, I don't see you, but I know you're still here.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
All right, great. Thank you. Okay. I guess that brings us to the end of our meeting. It's next on the agenda is adjournment. So a lot of information crammed into an hour. I greatly appreciate everybody's contribution. Those of that of the chiefs, as well as the questions and comments from our attendees today. And with that said, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All right. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful day. And most importantly, please stay warm, check on your neighbors, and dig out your fire hydrant, please. All right. Have a great
Bye.
day.